Good afternoon. Welcome to All About Animals. I am Sherry Gradator, and we are at the, and I have to do this again, it is, let me look up here, it's Premier Veterinary Group. And what city are we in?
We're in Grays Lake.
In Grays Lake. And my guest today is Judy. And Judy, you have to pronounce your last name for me because I won't even try.
It's Projansky.
And Judy saw a need that people had and reached out to answer that need in a very, very wonderful way, and I'm going to ask Judy to tell you about it.
Well, after working in animal hospitals for about 18 years, when I came here, we see a lot more euthanasias due to the fact that we're high specialty, we have oncology and ER services, so we see a lot more. And it just pained me to see how many people left just carrying the empty leash and the empty carrier.
And the empty heart.
And the empty heart. So I thought that something that would be nice to develop would be a support group for people in need.
And you had to work real hard to get that group going, didn't you?
I did. I presented something to the first administration, and unfortunately they turned me down. When the administration rolled over, I went again, and this time Shannon said, present me something, and sure enough, it got approved. So we started off at Panera, doing a support group meeting every third Wednesday of the month. And when Panera started to have some problems, it wasn't always available, the room, it was always an issue. I went to Dr. Coronado, who was very supportive and helped me, and now we do our support meetings at Petronix Pharmacy in Libertyville. So
and it is, again, it's the third Wednesday?
Every third Wednesday of the month we meet.
And you have a folder that you're holding which is given to people, and I looked through it and it's absolutely, first of all, it made me cry.
Oh.
It made me cry. It made me think of every animal that I've ever lost, and it made me cry. But it's got great information and it's got some beautiful poetry in it, some of which you wrote yourself.
Yeah, well, the poems that I wrote myself, I actually put in our condolence cards. I write all the condolence cards for the hospital, and I put those in there. The poems that you saw that were nice, I did steal them from the computer. One's the Rainbow Bridge, one's for cats, one's for dogs, because it's a general folder. And we put a little packet of, it's actually very nice, thank you for liking it. And we put in a little packet of forget-me-not seeds that people can plant and think about their pets when it grows. And
there was a marvelous thing there. There is an inventory to go through to decide, to evaluate, to decide when it's time to let go of an animal.
Right.
And that was, I read through it. It is very helpful.
That was the quality of life scale that you're talking about, and it just has questions and how you would feel, and you know, to kind of rate it in your mind when to help you make a decision.
Yeah, and I always had the feeling that there will come a day and you will know that it's now.
Yeah.
And if you don't know, your dog will tell you.
As I put on there, somebody, a vet I used to work with, once told me, you'll know when it's time. They seem to stop smiling. Really, it's hard to know the right time, and you hope that you get the right guidance, and you have to believe in euthanasia as a...
And then there's that wonderful comment that I've heard, and I'm sure that you've heard, and I'm sure that most people who've lost an animal have heard. Why are you crying? It's only a cat. Or it's only a dog. And I had a man tell me that 3 days ago about a cat. He said, so you get another cat. And it's only a cat. But it's not that way for people who are grieving, is it?
No, and it's nice. It's one of the reasons I like the support group, because I always tell people it's the one place you can come and you can talk about your pet for as long as you want to, and nobody there is ever going to say anything like that, because we're all there for the same purpose. And you'd be surprised as to how much a stranger can help somebody else because they're grieving and they're going through the same thing too. And I believe in support groups. I think they're very helpful.
I think that shared pain makes pain lighter.
Yes.
Yes. So you have how many people are coming to this group now?
Well, I never really know, because I don't require an RSVP. It's nice. I've had as many as 9 at one time, and as many as 2. So it depends on, you know, how they're feeling that day, and right. Right, but one support group meeting we had was really nice, and I had bought shadow boxes, and I had people bring pictures in, and we actually made shadow boxes together and talked, and so it was a very nice, a nice group, nice way to remember pets.
Well, it's providing support that really isn't out there in a lot of places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do have some home euthanasia doctors that do come sometimes, and I'm very fortunate that Premier is such an outstanding animal hospital that they allow me to do it.
Yeah, so that yeah, and it is in some cases it's easier if you have a home visit. In some cases it's not.
Right. We see so many, we have Dr. Hinnemeister, our oncologist here, so, a lot of pets do very well, and unfortunately a lot don't. So, I see a lot here to get referrals. I am hoping that other referring vets in the area know about the group and send their clients as well.
Do you have a top limit as to how many people you want to have in this group?
As many as possible. No, my goal is to reach as many people as possible. I find a lot of times that I'll be talking to people and just at parties or whatever, where I go and socialize, and I'll tell them I do this, and they're like, "Oh, I wish I had known about that." So I think it's just getting word out there.
What happens when you get so many that you have to look at another day of the week? There's a
I'll
possibility
be
that
honored
could
to do
happen.
that. Then I'll present to my administration another program.
Well, because truth be told, after a certain number of people get there, it gets a little unwieldy. People don't have the opportunity to talk, or they feel uncomfortable to cry in front of too many people. And at that point, you're going to have to grow.
Yes, I hope that time comes.
I hope that time comes too.
Yeah.
Because I know, and I know that you know, how painful grieving for an animal is when you've loved. I used to say that I had two kinds of babies. I had fur babies and skin babies. And they were all my babies.
Right.
And my skin babies have moved on. But my fur babies are still with me and always will be.
Well, I have a lot of empathy and sympathy because I've never been married and I never had children. So I truly understand when losing a cat or a dog or any home pet means so much more to some people because that's all we've had. So I understand that. I still miss my first cat, Bear, and I said, if I could have put a saddle on him, he'd have been my only pet. So there's some we just never really get over, but we move on.
Yeah, oh yeah. There have been many like that for me, and I carry them with me.
Yeah.
And I heard, and I'm trying to remember where I heard this statement because I loved it so very much. It was someone who said, "Every animal that I have that dies takes with him a piece of my heart. And every animal that comes into me brings with him a piece of his heart that he gives to me. And one day, if I live long enough and I have enough pets, maybe my heart will be as loyal and true as my pets are."
Oh,
When I'm all pet, basically, is what he said.
it's nice.
And it was just a wonderful, wonderful, beautiful thought.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. One of the things in here is the poem "The Rainbow Bridge." And the concept of crossing over the rainbow bridge for animals is so beautiful. And that's an American Indian belief, the Rainbow Bridge.
It is nice to think we're going to see them. I'd like to be greeted by a lot of my pets.
There are a lot of my pets that I'd rather have greet me than some of my people.
Yeah, they sure leave a mark in our heart, that's for sure.
Because they're always there for us.
Always. It's unconditional love, and they don't talk back, and they're just there to please us. So
Yeah, I've always said my dog always does what I want her to do when I want her to do it. My kids never did.
no, they're
Not
very
that I
special.
didn't love them, but
When my first horse died, it took me 5 horses to bond and find another one that I could love and care as much about. So it's very difficult.
yeah, and that's a horse, and that's something that doesn't live with you in your house.
No,
Doesn't matter.
no.
It doesn't matter. Love is love. Now, and I'm assuming that when you get these groups together, you have a wide mix of people.
Yes, I have the other customer service representatives and myself when they come up and check out and their pets have passed away, we put their receipt in here so that they have that. And then when I write the cards, I put it in again, and just in case, and I put in the poems, whether it's a cat or a dog that's passed away, and let them know that we're there.
And I've been, actually, I don't know. With me, when I've lost a pet, my reaching out is almost immediately. Some people need to wait and process.
Right.
But there always comes a time when sharing, and what do they say? What is the expression? It's sharing is caring?
Yeah.
Yes.
And grieving is very personal. People will call me and they'll ask me, I can't put the bowl away. I can't, put the bed away. It's like, it's fine. Just take it every day. There's no hurry. Everybody grieves differently, and there's no right or wrong.
That's the most important thing to say, is that there is no right or wrong.
Mm-hmm.
There is pain and grief. And I used to say that you're beginning to heal the first time you think about a wonderful time that you had with your pet, and it makes you smile.
I try to tell people when they do talk with me not to remember that last day. They'll always say, I wish I had spent more time, I wish I had done this, or and it's like, don't dwell on that last day. The last day we would always do something different. We don't know it's the last day, and I don't think it's fair to the pet that you've loved to dwell on that last few hours. Just remember and reflect on the whole life, because it's what our dogs and cats want. That's what they want. They want us to still love them, even though they're not here.
And their whole purpose in life was to bring us joy,
Right.
not sorrow.
Right.
And I've always said, yes, I'm grieving and yes, I'm sad, but my dog wouldn't want me to be sad. She would want me to think of her and all of the great times we had.
Exactly. I totally agree.
Judy, we're almost out of time. So if you would tell people how to reach you, I would really appreciate it.
I can be reached at Premier Veterinary Group, and the phone number is 847-548-5300. And you can always catch us on at the support group meeting, which once again is every third Wednesday of the month at Petronix Pharmacy in Libertyville. And all I ask if you come is to bring a picture of your pet.
At what time?
7 p.m.
Okay. So it's 7 at Petronix in Libertyville on the third Wednesday of the month. But if you need to talk to Judy or you have questions, call her here. Judy, it is a delight meeting someone who is as full of love as you are.
Thank you.
And as caring as you are.
Thank you.
It is my joy and my delight.
Yeah, thank you,
and
Sherry.
I thank you for sharing some time with us.
Thank you.
And we will now take you to Save a Pet and show you some of the dogs and cats that are waiting for homes there.
I can't wait.